everybody, how is it going? And welcome to another episode of Amps in the XFX3. Today we are going to be checking out the legendary German Diezel VH4. Hey guys, this is your first time here, or if you have been here before, make sure you are subscribed because I do tons of cool stuff here. We do XFX stuff, we do gear, we do rants, we do all kind of cool stuff here, so make sure you are subscribed. I don't want you to miss any of that. So let's check out the Diezel in the XFX3. Now, we've already going over the VH4 before, but it was in the form of a Fractomate amp called Diezel. That one is a crowd favorite. I actually really like that one a lot. But this is the actual Diezel amp. This one here is two, actually. It's modeled off of the actual schematics of the actual amp itself. So in the XFX3, we have the blue face VH4 and we have the silver face VH4. The blue face tends to be a little bit brighter, has a little bit more presence in it, and the silver face tends to be a little bit more MIDI. I mean, they both MIDI focused is what I'm talking about, not MIDI, the actual electronic thing, the actual like mids focused. They're both very unique. They're very unique amp, and I find with Diezels, you either absolutely love them or you absolutely hate them. There's no real middle ground, especially when it comes to the real life amp. So we have a couple different modes in here. Now both of the modes are exactly the same between the silver and the blue. We have the crunch, the mega, and the lead. The actual amp itself is a 4-channel amp, but the clean's in model here because it's kind of pointless to model that, in my opinion. And let's read a little bit about it. So this is going to come from the X-Amp Guide. I'm going to put a link to that in the description down below if you want to check it out. So in here, he's covering Diezel and the Diezel VH4. They're both the same, based on the same type of amp. Peter Diezel is the one who launched Diezel amps back in '94, and the point with this amp was back in the '80s, like a lot of people had these huge racks that they would bring everywhere for all their different things. For basically, they would have like a different rack for like every different type of sound that they wanted. And what they were trying to do is they were trying to replace all of that into one amp. So you have your clean, your crunch, I guess your more crunch if you want to call it that, with a mega, and then you have the lead channel with the lead. So this amp blends really well with other amps. That's kind of how it's been used before. I know James Hetfield has blended it with his amps. Definitely the first time I heard about it was from Adam Jones when I was younger. I know he had like 3 different amps, and I think he used this one for like the mids. He had the best highs, mids, and lows. I think he used a Diezel for the mids, and he blended it with that. I know this amp blends really well with the Soldano, or it typically blends better with brighter amps, because this amp is very much full of mids. It really is. It can kind of get difficult to tame. And as Cliff says here, this amp really isn't a high gain amp. It's more of a lower gain amp, because Peter Diezel, when he was designing it, he was worried more about crunch. He was not worried so much about like high gain type stuff. He was mainly focused in on crunch. So yes, the first one, that's a clean channel, that one's clean. The crunch, like blues guitar, stuff like that. I probably really won't be playing very much blues. This is my Black Cat HHD headless. I have Toast and Fishman's in here. What you heard in the beginning was off of the bridge pickup, by the way. Cleans crunch, channel 3, which it's mega. It's the distortion. This is, like I said, this is see, heavy guitar rhythm. It's tighter. It's heavy, but it's not like recto heavy or Soldano heavy, or anything like that. You know, like super modern high gain. It's not really that. 4-channel it's like a lead channel. Coincidentally enough, this is one of the first places that I actually heard Diezel with the Premier Guitar Monsters of High Gain. Back when I was in college, just like 2006 when this came out. No, 2010, I'm sorry. It was in my college days, sorry, I got that year wrong. I was looking to buy my first tube amp, and this is where I stumbled across the Monsters of High Gain. This was an awesome series back in 2010. This is Misha Mansell right here, and when he's playing it through here, the tone that he gets out of it's very Diezel-y. It's very like mid-focused, and that's just kind of how the amp is. And this is one of Ola's older demos. This one's actually pretty great too. I know Austin Buddy really loves this amp because he says that it can do a multitude of different things. For me personally, I don't know, it's interesting. So I kind of went for more of the high gain type of approach to it. It's been used for high gain before, but it's not really what it was built for. But I found if you tweak it good enough, you can get it there. I'm using the precision drive as a drive for some of the patches. And IR is a good old GGG Zilla 412 oversized with the UKV30 with SM57. And what I'm going to do when I show this to you is I'm going to bounce between different modes. So you got the blue mode and then you have the silver. So I'm just going to bounce between these. So I'll show you each mode on each face. So that way we kind of keep it linear. So this is going to be the crunch. And I'm going to start on my bridge pickup. Everything I dialed in was on authentic tap for all of these. I messed with the EQ on some of them, so I'll bounce between them. That's really the only thing I messed with, and I'll do EQ on them. So this is the crunch, and I'm going to go through my different pickups to kind of show you different sounds. What I find really cool about the crunch channel is in the bridge position you can get that crunchy tone, and when I moved to the split coil positions it kind of cleaned up and it gave you sort of a cool, you know, slightly almost breakup type of clean there. Needs to be pushed a little bit more, but you can get that cool type of like little breakup. Let's push it. Let's see if I can get it to do it. Kind of like right there, you get that breakup tone, which I think crunch sounds really good. I like this channel. This would technically be channel 2 on the real amp. So let's move over to, let's move over to the silver crunch. Let's check out the EQ. Actually, I didn't even EQ this one, believe it or not. IR is gonna be the same through everything. Everything that we do is gonna be the same. Start on bridge. Find the silver and blue crunch are kind of the same. They kind of have that same type of vibe going for them. I mean, it depends on which one you pick, depending on the day. So let's move on to the Mega, which let me just get the my presets here. Yeah, so this is gonna be the Mega. So this one is more crunch. This one's more. I didn't do EQ on and off for that. Let me just do it for this one because it's the only one I have EQ for, and I'll do it in the split quality position. I'll do it on the bridge. I'm sorry. As you can hear, I'm just scooping a lot of those mids out of there. So let's do the Blue Mega. And there's a little bit of scoop I got going here. The EQ on here is very interesting. Considering, you know, with the IRs and stuff I'm using, the EQ on it is, it's interesting. Because I find it has like a lot more of I find it has a lot of 125 and 250. I find it has a lot of 250 to tell you the truth. More than I actually care to like out of the box. So let's see what the Mega sounds like and do on the bridge. So this is going to be the Silver Mega. I have to change amps because I always screw that up. Not as much EQ pull out of here as you can tell. Look, see, so it's a little bit less in here. Let me do EQ on and off for crap. All right, Mega. Let's do EQ on and off for that. It sounds weird. I need to put some more mids back in. I think I put too much out. This amp, it's weird. Like, I've been fighting with these mids in here, like, for the longest time. And I go back and forth with it. Certain points I don't exactly, doesn't vibe with me that well. I don't really know why. Alright, so let's do EQ on and off on the Silver Mega. Quite honestly, I might as well just leave the EQ off on the Mega and put a little bit more bass and just maybe put a little bit more mids in here. I'm not using the drive on this one. I used the drive on the blue, but it's not on here. As you can see, like, I'm still fighting with it right here. Like, me and this amp don't get along. I'm sure you've seen that by now, but I don't know. I don't know if it's my guitar or what it is. I want to do something different with this one and switch up from using my Anderson all the time. But the Mega's alright. The Mega is just, on the X-Fix wise, you can use the crunch kind of as a like light breakup, almost distortion, kind of almost as a clean as we heard. This should more or less be used kind of like more of like a crunch. Like a real little crunch, and then the lead you can use as like your actual high gain stuff, and or if you actually want to use it for lead tones. So let's move on to the blue lead. The lead channels I kind of actually liked a lot. So this is going to be the blue lead on the bass pickup. I really like the blue lead's actually pretty nice. EQ wise, like I said, I have a really weird EQ in here. Like, I was just kind of going by ear, you know, trying to get it to sound good. And EQ on and off. Let's take a little bit of those annoying mids out of there. I like the blue. The blue is really good. Like I said, dialed everything in on the authentic tab. The key with this amp to me is it's the bass and the mids. You don't have to really go super bright on it. But the bass and the mids are very, very tricky. The bass comes up very fast on it. It has a lot of mids. This guitar is very midi too, so that's why I have the mids. I'm not trying to scoop them. I'm just trying to get them out to where they're not like super overwhelming. I think that's the biggest issue with me in this amp is that the bass and the mids just like to dominate everything for some reason. I don't know exactly. So this is going to be the silver face lead. As you can see, it's a little bit different. Dialed in wise, EQ, yeah. So the EQ on ignore that. So this is the EQ on the silver, right here. As you see, I took a lot of 500 out. Let's see what this sounds. Probably can put a little bit more in. I'm trying not to get this to sound super thin. Yeah, it sounds pretty decent. Got a little bit more thickness in there. I pretty much use the same drive settings for all of the different amps. Let's do EQ on and off. As you can see, I just took out 250 and 500. I probably can put a little bit more back in. A lot of people's complaints with the Diezels is that they can be very, very dry. Now, this is when using it in a high gain type of aspect. I've never really gravitated towards the Diezels all that much. They're very unique, like I said, but to wrap things up on the VH4, you either love them or you absolutely hate them. Now, the Daz metal amp that's in here is totally different. It has a totally different feel. Like I said before, I fought with this amp. I don't even know if the tones came out nowhere near decent. I hope they sounded good out there. I tried to dial them in the best I can. I had a hard time with this amp. I fought with it a little bit. But enough about me and me fighting with amps. What about you? Do you like the Diezel? I think it can be cool. I think it takes a certain person to really gravitate toward it. I mean, I really like the lead channels, but I fought with them, as you can see. Between the silver and the blue, I don't really know. They both kind of sound good to me. I don't think it's the difference is as apparent as it is in real life when you go in between the blue and you go in between the silver, because you kind of have a little bit more parameters you can mess with inside of the axe. But let me know in the comments down below. Do you like Diezel? Which one you like better, the blue or the silver? Let me know. Guys, if you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. Like I said, if you're not subscribed, I really would appreciate it if you would. It'd be really cool because I don't want you to miss any of the cool stuff we got going on here. Alright guys, I'm going to have to be out. Peace.